I'm like, can you bring your greens home?
Yeah, right.
With your inmate number?
Yeah.
I like that.
Someone's got some weird fantasies going on over here. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything UV lash. There's a lot of hot controversy, a lot of myths.
People want to know, like they want to know, hey, should I be offering this? Is it safe? I want to know everything about it.
I do believe this is going to become kind of the wave of the future. In the next 5 years, you're going to see most lash artists switching to UV systems.
It is exciting, right? It's like a new thing we're introducing, but we have always been known for our transparency. And
what's up, Lashinistas? Welcome to the show. This is the Olivor Lash podcast, where we talk about the ever-growing eyelash business. If you're new to our show, welcome. This podcast is dedicated to helping you grow as a lash artist and or lash business owner. So whether you work for yourself or someone else, this podcast is for you.
what's up, guys? This is Shauna and Mike Jones with Olivor Lash. Our heart is to share with you our uphill battle in this lash industry and to give you guys a real raw version of what things are really like.
The things are really like.
Yeah.
Excelente. Before we jump into that, so today's episode, we're going to be talking about everything UV lash. There's a lot of hot controversy, a lot of myths, a lot of things going on about UV lashes. Today, we're going to kind of debate some of those things. Obviously not out to kind of pee in anybody's Wheaties or start any fights with anybody. I just think that it's something that's become very popular, and it's also get a lot of issues, a lot of misconceptions out there. People saying you can get cancer and you burn your eyeballs out and all kinds of crazy stuff out there like that. So I think as long as it's done appropriately, you can greatly benefit from it. And we're going to go over the pros and cons of it here in a second. Before we jump into that, obviously, if you're a new listener to our show, welcome. We're going to give you guys a lot of like really great tricks and tips in this business, but we don't charge a fee for this. This is completely free. We do this out of the kindness of our hearts, but our fee is this. If you feel like you got value from this podcast and it's helped you benefit your lash journey, all we ask is that you refer this podcast to somebody else who could greatly benefit from this as well. Obviously, we could run ads on this, but we don't do that. And so our fee is just make sure you refer someone to us that can greatly benefit, help them grow on their lash journey as well.
Yes, and you can follow us on Olivor Lash Salons and then Olivor Lash on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, Olivor is spelled a little funky. A lot of people ask, why do you guys spell it that way?
Yeah, so it's just because it's Olive and Baylor, so it's after our kids.
Can you spell it for them?
Olivor.
There you go. All right, jumping into the episode. So today's episode, talking about UV lashes. So one of the things that kind of got UV lashes so popular is one of the biggest complaints in the lash industry is retention. And there's areas that are super humid and tropical. There's areas like where we live here in the desert in Vegas where it's extremely dry. Yeah. And for years, lash artists have needed hygrometers to kind of check the humidity. They've had to go back and forth, find lash glues that have a low humidity or things that could form a bond in a high humidity type environment. And so the whole premise behind the UV lash extensions is they use it's a polymer resin instead of a traditional cyanacrylate. And so instead of curing by off-gassing and by using the humidity, what it does is it's got something in it called photoinitiators. And so those photoinitiators, the second they get hit by UV light, that UV light has to be sent at a certain frequency, okay, in order for it to cure instantly. It's a 1 to 2 second cure. And we're going to show a B-roll on this too. My wife did a really cool video showing the clear glue and the black one we have, both of them curing instantly with the UV light on it. We're going to play that B-roll reel if you're watching this on the YouTube channel as well. But what's really cool about it is as soon as the UV light hits it at a frequency of between 390 and 405 nanometers of that frequency, the polymer resin cures instantly. And it does not matter about the humidity or trying to off-gas because that bond is done. It is sealed. So they can go and cry that night. They can go right to go sweat, go right to the sauna. It does not matter. And what's really nice for you guys out there been lashing a long time, one of the biggest issues is stickies. When you guys are combing through and you get those stupid stickies, there is no stickies. As soon as you put the UV lash glue on there and you point at a downward angle, just a couple inches above, make sure you've got UV eye pads.
Top and bottom.
And we'll explain why on that in a minute. As soon as you point that UV light down on it, it cures within 2 seconds. And that's it. It's done. There's no need to have a UV lamp overhead, having it going the entire service, having it going, back and forth after the service. 2 seconds, downward angle, not into the eyeball. And then she's going to explain to you about the iPads as well.
Yeah, and it's like a flash cure. Like I know with the tweezer light, there's like an auto timer that's close to like a 3-second, but like the girls at the salon, because we do use UV at our salon in Summerlin, it's like 1 second. And also keep in mind with the clear adhesive with UV, that's actually going to cure faster than the black because it doesn't have the carbon black to go through. So even though I love the black, I'm obsessed with our UV clear. And I just want to also add in regards to like the whole UV lash thing, because it is exciting, right? It's like a new thing we're introducing, but we have always been known for our transparency. And there is not enough long-term studies to say that this is 100% safe, or this is going to be perfect for every single sensitive client, or it's going to cure all of the issues that you may have had clients experience with traditional lash extensions. There's no percentage, there's no number. Like none of that exists because this is so new and there's just no long-term studies. So the way I like to say it, because we do use it, we do train it, and I do believe in it so far because we have not had any bad reactions in the research we've done, but it's literally at your own risk. And because there is no long-term studies being done, we always advise that you use top and bottom UV extensions. Number one, the top of your eyelid, it's the thinnest piece of skin on your body, right? And so even if you, with no long-term studies, I just believe that it's like better safe than sorry. And so protecting that upper eyelid, I think, is crucial. That's in our opinion. I know there's many companies that don't do that, and that's completely fine. We're just talking about our experience, research, and what we do at our salons, and this is what we sell. And so, but yeah, I just want to stress that because there is so much controversy behind it. But guess what? Like I believe in this new trend, but I also believe that I can see why it would be controversial. For sure. Controversial.
Yeah. Controversial. One of the things too is, we've been asked before, what's the shelf life on UV glue once it's open?
So the shelf life of our UV adhesives are up to 6 months.
Once opened?
Yeah, once opened. And then just keep in mind too, you are not having to switch your dot as much, but you also want to make sure whatever your setup may be, if you are using an overhead lamp, that your adhesive is away from the light. Otherwise, I know that there's been a lot of emails with people who have used lamps before, our lamp as well, and their setup doesn't require, like what's happening is the UV light is carrying their glue dot. So your complete setup is very important as well.
Yeah, the other thing is too, a lot of people ask, can I get sunburn from this thing? So there's actually 3 different types of UV light. So there's UVA, which is what the lamps that we use, that actually use to cure the glue with. UVA is actually used just to, I was telling you before about the 390 to 405 nanometers of UV light. That's actually what gets the photo initiators to cure instantly. UVB is what's actually in like tanning beds. That's the one that's associated with skin burn, right? There is no UVB rays whatsoever with the UV systems. At least there should not be. Make sure you guys are double checking your homework when you go to buy one. UVC is actually used to sterilize medical grade equipment. And so remember, again, we don't use either one of those in our product. Any type of UV system you buy, make sure it's only emitting UVA type rays from it, okay? The other thing is there's been a lot of talk about people leaving the lights on the entire time when they're doing the set. And so it's very important to 1 to 2 seconds, that's it. You don't need to point it directly in the eyeball. Point it at a downward angle directly over the lashes themselves. You want to minimize the light to where it's hitting the lash line or where you're lashing exactly. And you don't need to like flash cure over the eye afterwards. Like Mike said, like once it's done, it's done. In traditional photopolymer science, oxygen actually inhibits the curing. And so that's one thing to keep in mind as well. I know there were a lot of people emailing, asking us those questions. I think it's really important to know that's just like a fact-based thing to say in regards to this. One of the other questions we got is your adhesive plant-based? And the answer to that is no. I have heard that there are some plant-based adhesives out there. However, what that typically means is there are no acrylate what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't contain the cyanacrylate monomers such as butyl or ethanol. It does still have some acrylate in it, even though it's not cyanacrylate. So it doesn't technically make it 100% plant-based. While it may have some material that is derived from plant-based materials, not all of it is 100% plant-based. And so one of the things that was kind of debunked in the past is with the traditional cyanacrylate glues, the toluene that's actually in the glue itself is what was making the glue harden. But a lot of those ingredients, people were worried about being Prop 64 ingredients that could be long-term cancer causing and so forth. That's never been proven, but it has been shown that they could actually make that using an ethanol that would make it a more of an eco-friendly type bond. However, again, with the UV type of lashes, because it's a polymer resin, there is no way to truly make it a 100% plant-based without actually getting rid of the ethanols and the butyls.
Every single acrylate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I also want to get into the fact because, we have a lot of people emailing because again, this is new in the industry and I know a lot of people have so many questions and it's a lot to unpack. Like there's so much in regards to this and people want to know, they want to know, hey, should I be offering this? Is it safe? I want to know everything about it. And because we use it, because we train, and because we believe in it, even though there isn't long-term studies, this is not FDA approved. So I just want to stress that. The FDA does not approve any lash adhesives or cosmetic labs. And I think that's important, we all know. I think there's so much information out there that we're lacking, and I think knowledge is power, and I just want to shoot it straight because, who knows what may happen in the future? What happens when there is long-term studies and we're wait a second. So at your own risk.
I do believe this is going to become kind of the wave of the future. In the next 5 years, you're going to see most lash artists switching to UV systems. I really do. A lot of this stuff I've been reading online as well, just because of the cure and the bonding of it. No more kind of second guessing how long that's going to last for. It'll definitely make fills last a lot longer for your clients. It'll definitely get rid of a lot of the issues with retention. You're still going to need, like my wife was saying earlier, to patch test. This is not a instant cure-all for lashes where someone who's been having issues in the past with allergic reactions can start wearing this. Again, this is still, it does have a lot of the same ingredients in it. However, it's going to still require, if you've got a client who's having those allergic reactions, patch test.
Yeah.
Find out in advance before you end up giving someone an allergic reaction. We've been sued before for someone using our glue the wrong way. You know what I mean? And including, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, we have.
So even if you get the right products, the right tools, you can still be sued for, improper application.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes down to training,
Yep.
Make sure you're doing your homework. Make sure you're actually finding out how this stuff actually works. Another kind of a common misconception is too, with the lamps, they're saying, I've heard that there are certain lamps out there that can only be UV lamps versus a LED lamp, and LED lamps can't help with the process as well. And that's not true. There are LED lamps that only emit UVA rays, which is what you need to hit the photoinitiators to get it to cure the bond with UV lighting. And so that's a kind of a common misconception. So if you have a system out there that you might have previously bought and it says LED, but it's not a UV lash lamp, but as long as it emits the UVA rays itself, and again at the same wavelength you need, the right amount of nanometers, you're okay. It will cause the glue to cure instantly.
Okay, just going back to the FDA and the FDA facilities. So there's certain facilities that can be FDA approved, but again, it does not mean that the products, ingredients that are being used are FDA approved, because beauty cosmetics, lash extension adhesive, it is not FDA approved. So you can have the information from your manufacturer of an FDA approved laboratory, but it is not giving approval. It's not giving FDA approval for the lash adhesive. So I want to emphasize that as well. And that's just for any type of lash adhesive. We're not just talking about UV lash adhesive as well.
Also, if your client gets a really nice suntan after your appointment, you're using the wrong system. There's always going to be new trends and things coming out in the lash industry. And I think this is actually one of the good ones because we've seen it work with dental. We see it working. It causes that bond instantly. You don't have to worry about the humidity. You don't have to worry about it off-gassing. You don't have to worry about them coming back again every so often because of aftercare. And aftercare is one of the things that I think is probably the most searched on the internet, how to get the clients to stay happy. So, like I said, as long as you are using both sets of iPads, as long as you are not keeping the UV light on the entire time over the client's eyes, as long as you're going to a downward angle, I think you'll be okay with it. Just make sure you're doing your homework. The last thing you want to do is buy a really great product thinking you're going to become the UV expert and have clients come to you And the next thing you know, you're still screwing it up and you're getting sued for it.
Yeah. Also, I was going to say, it really is important to do training. A lot of people are like, well, I've been lashing 15 years. I don't feel like I need training. There's so much involved in this, and you're dealing with a different type of product. And because there's I keep going back to the long-term studies, but I think that if you are wanting to know more about it, I think that if you're going to use it, like if you've decided like, hey, I'm going to offer this to my clients, I think a training is a must. And I'm not doing that to push our training. You could do any training, but just make sure you're just doing your homework. I think it's really good to be just super transparent about this because, I mean, there's risk to traditional lashes as well. I do, like Mike stated, feel like this is like, a new wave of our future in this industry. I think it's amazing. I think I'm most excited because there's no stickies. So you can literally lash side by side. I think that's pretty cool. But also, definitely do your research into what system you're using and also just know the product because it does work a lot differently. And then also, your clients are going to love it too. I mean, there's like 3 things I'm just going to pinpoint about UV. Eventually, like when you're not practicing, you can charge more. So we charge $20 more for a fill and we charge $40 more for a full set. Obviously, that's going to vary wherever you're located and your experience with it. Also with aftercare, obviously it's pretty much the same. You're going to be washing your lashes every single day, if not 2 times a day. But you can go in the sauna, you can swim, you can cry, you can do all that fun stuff. So
I like a good cry.
Yeah, Mike likes a good cry.
I think I'm due for a good cry.
Yeah, I think you've cried 6 times, 7 times.
What did I cry over?
Okay, so you cried when we had Olive and Baylor.
Okay.
You cried when...
Why was I crying for that?
Because we finally had babies. And then for Baylor...
I think it was more because I was scared to death because you were having a C-section.
Yeah.
And the doctor was sitting in the corner joking and throwing organs up in the air.
No, he wasn't.
He's just like, oh, might need that one.
Stop.
They're like, you want to cut the umbilical cord, Dad? I'm like, put her back together.
No. And then when we had Baylor, your brother passed away the same day. So that was really rough. When I surrendered you to prison, thinking you were going to be there for 6.5 years. And then I remember in Lompoc when I came to visit you one time, and it was like shortly after you were already in, and it was just like horrible. We didn't know anything about anything. And
I think you forgot the important one. When LeBron James returned to Cleveland.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. He bawled like a baby on the floor. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you have not cried. Like, yeah. So I think
she always jokes around. She's like, you're not emotional at all. Even if you try to cry, you're like,
and
like squeeze out a fart.
I know. I tell lately, I'll just be honest. I've been like, man, I feel like prison really made you like really tough because you're a little bit hard. But I know there's like a little transition, and I know you had to be hard in prison, which I actually love. I'm like, can you bring your greens home?
Yeah, right.
With your inmate number?
Yeah.
I like that.
Someone's got some weird fantasies going on over here. All right, back to UV lashes.
Okay.
Sorry, we got so far off the beaten path.
Anyways, yeah. So, and also, if you guys have any questions,
Does my wife look good today?
Yeah, I got a spray tan and a blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mess that spray tan up.
Anyways, what I was gonna say is, I don't know what I was gonna say. I hope I don't get pregnant.
I think you might be.
I'm 42
right now.
I'm 42. I don't think I can make that happen. Okay. Anyways, moving back to this, you can always ask us questions. I am on Instagram. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, I'm happy to answer any. Yeah, that's what we're here for in just like in general. If you guys have any questions about anything, so many of you guys have reached out, and I love when you guys share your stories about like, oh, I've been following you since. One girl was talking about how she teaches classes now, which is amazing. And she lets her students listen to us from when we were podcasting back in the day.
Lash days.
Yeah. And I love hearing that. So we're always here for you guys with any questions you guys may have. And yeah, I'm just excited to be introducing this into the industry, and obviously continued research to see, how this all unfolds, even though I do have high hopes for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys today. We try to make these things kind of short term, not long, super long form podcasts where you guys just want to blow your brains out after listening to it for 2 hours straight. So hopefully you get some great info from it today. If you haven't done so yet, obviously make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. We appreciate the love, the sincere following. Any questions you guys may have, we're always happy to answer. We appreciate you guys. Until then, we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you.
Bye.